Aha! Hello! And welcome back. I didn't see you filming there. I was out hunting somewhere. Someone round here has been stealing onions. It's a right riddle to me. Anyway, as you know, I am Broggy, and I am a Viking. Broggy Magnusson, and welcome to Northworthy, Sagas and Stories. Now, today, I have a Norwegian folktale to tell you. Oh yes, and I know that you've all been waiting for this one, for it is Boots who made the princess say, "Now that's a story." So let's begin. Once upon a time, as you know, there was a king, and a mighty king. He had a big beard, and he was very wealthy. He had a lot of land, and he had a daughter. And well, his daughter, well, she was very beautiful. But she was also a terrible teller of tales. Oh no, she could not tell a good story. In fact, she was very well known across the land, far and near, and over the hills, and yes, far away. Now, the king decided to put out an order, a decree, that if anybody could make the princess say, "Now that's a story," after telling her a story, in fact that they could marry her, and the king, well, he would give up half of his kingdom to anybody who could make the princess say, "Now that's a story." And many came, and many tried. Yes, many came from far away and from near. Princes came, and even kings, and the common folk, and even mighty mortal heroes. But none of them could make her say, "Now that's a story," for although the princess was so well known for telling tales and being rubbish at it, she was also very well known for knowing when a lie is a lie and the truth is the truth. So no matter who came, nobody could string up a sorts of pack of lies to make her say, "Now that's a story." Now one day, these three brothers came, and of course the two oldest went first. The older brother, he went first, being the oldest, and he told a tale to the princess, but he failed. And then the second oldest, the middle brother, well, he tried, and well, he too failed in the mission. They could not tell her a story, and she had the ability to disbelieve it very quickly. And finally, the third brother and our hero of this tale came along. Boots, that was his name, and he was a Viking, so they say. Now Boots went to look for the princess in the great hall, but she was not there. And Boots, being, well, clever, he decided instead of waiting, he'll go and find her. And this is what Boots did. Eventually, he tracked her down to the farmyard, and he went up to the princess and said, "Oh, good morning, princess. That what it is may be." And the princess said, "Oh, yes, it is a very, very nice morning indeed." And she looked at Boots, and of course she knew that he was trying to tell her a story. And she said, "Well, you know, our farms are by far the bigger farms here in this land, and by far bigger than your farms. For in fact, the princess said that when 2 of our men go to each border of our farm and our land and blow our big horn, well, that's neither of them can hear each other. Well, Boots looked at the princess and said, "Oh, that's nothing," he says. "Nothing indeed." And Boots said, "Well, when we have a cow and the cow begins to go into calf at the very beginning and then starts to walk across our mighty farm and land, well, by the time it's ready to give calf, it's just crossed the border. And that is how big our farms are." And well, the princess said, well, I dare not believe it. And carried on. And she said, the princess, "Now we have a mighty ox here. So mighty and so big that for when 2 men climb up on the ox, which is said to be at least 3 leagues high, and each man sits on either end of the horns, and with a spear 10 foot long, they cannot touch each other." Well, Boots looked at her and said, "Well, that's nothing," Boots said. "We have an ox where from I am from that is so mighty and so huge, for that when 2 men climb up on this mighty beast, which is said to be at least 6 leagues high, and sit on either end of the horns and blow a horn, a big blowing horn, that neither of these 2 men can hear each other." Well, the princess turned around and said, "Oh, I daren't believe that. That's incredible." I'm starting to be impressed now. And this carried on. As the Boots and the princess were walking, the princess came to the area of the farm where they produced cheeses. And she said, "Whoa, we produce the most biggest and mightiest cheeses here, and we all love cheese. In fact, these cheeses are so big it takes 4 men to carry them. As we milk so many cows and the milk comes in, and we milk, and the cheeses are enormous." Well, Boots looked at the princess and said, "Whoa, that's nothing," he says. "Back from where I'm from, we brew cheeses so big in enormous vats which take 10 men to move, often 9 moving and 1 ordering about. And they're so big that we have to move them on a giant horse and cart. And they're so big that we have to store them in a longhouse, and the biggest longhouse we can find. And they last for years. In fact, I tell you a story which is true. Yes, that once when we was making the cheeses, and we have 2 mares, 2 donkeys that go round and store up the big fat. One time one of them fell in, and quickly the donkey fell into the vat of cheese and disappeared. And 7 years passed, and we was eating that very cheese. And what did we find? Do you want to know what we found? What we found was that very mare, that very donkey, alive, and he'd been there for 7 years. Well, what do you think I did? Well, I got that donkey the next day, and I cleaned the donkey up, and I took her to market. Oh yes, I did. I took her to market indeed. But halfway there to market, what happened? But the back of the donkey gave out. And well, me being Boots, I'm very clever, you know. I quickly thought, well, if I get a a little sapling of a spruce tree and put it where the back broke, it will heal and mend around it. And this is what I did. And I found a sapling, I cut into the flesh, and I put this sapling in the back in the spine. And quickly before long, the sapling took, and both the mare and the sapling were happy together. And time passed. Many, many years passed. And that sapling, whoa, that sapling grew up into a mighty big tree. So big that one day I decided that, whoa, I just have to go up and climb this big tree. And this is what I did. I climbed the tree, and I climbed and I climbed. And it took hours. I did not know that this tree had grown so tall. And if you could see this tree, it would be magnificent growing out of this mare. And I climbed, and eventually I found this other land. And I've heard and I remembered the old stories that my grandfather told me of the 9 worlds. At first I thought, well, is this heaven? Have I climbed up to? And just on the land was a maiden, a shining, beautiful maiden with dark hair, and she was spinning this rope. And then suddenly the branch of the spruce gave way, and I was hanging off this land, fearing I would fall. Well, no quickly did she see me, she dropped some of the rope, and I managed to climb down back to the spruce tree. Yes, I did. And I climbed down, nearly got to the bottom, but then I fell out. And I fell and landed in this massive rabbit's hole. And then I spun round and round and round, and eventually I popped out near this old longhouse. And outside this longhouse was my mother and your father. And they was cobbling some shoes. Oh yes, they're cobbling some shoes. And just as they saw me, my mother flicked your father, the king, on his ear, and his moustache went all happy and all lit up with a big smile. And just then the princess said, now that's a story. And whoa, Boots and the princess got married. They had the honeymoon, and Boots gained half the kingdom and became a mighty king himself in time. And that is the end of this folk tale. Oh yes, and I do hope you enjoy it. Now, if you would like to see some more Nordic folk tales, I urge you to go and check out this playlist. Just follow the spear. You'll soon find the card up there, and eventually I will place it and put it there. So, for me, Draghi, I bid you farewell, and I thank you for watching this folk tale. And how soon we'll be recording the next one in this classic 4-part tale of Boots and his adventures. So, ras hail, good health, goodbye, thank you for watching again. Oh, leave a comment. Oh yes, I forgot. Oh, the director there would be going mad if I was standing behind the camera too. Ras hail, good health. We have a spear. Yes.